Hi, my name is Bonnie Keating, and I will be presenting to you the correlation between sleep deprivation and hypertension in the healthy adults. So as you can see here, according to the CDC, the average Americans in the U.S., about 35% of them do not get the recommended 7 hours of sleep each night. So as I see with the population that I work with, this is a growing problem that I've noticed. When I ask population I work with, which are Marines, active duty Marines, they tell me that they're lucky if they get 4 to 5 hours a night of sleep. And that's either due to their job, their social life, or a combination of the two. So the study that I'm bringing you today, studies have already suggested that inactivity, obesity, and high sodium diets can increase blood pressure. We already know that from other studies that we've read. But what are the effects on blood pressure when a healthy person who is sleep deprived? So studying a healthy population, but people that do not get enough sleep due to their day-to-day job, what are the effects from that? About 35%, like we said earlier, of the U.S. adults don't get what is recommended, which is at least 7 hours of sleep a night. The purpose of this study is to investigate the correlation of healthy males between the ages of 18 to 45 years that sleep less than 7 hours a night and how it can affect blood pressure. The reason that I chose males only is because the population that I regularly work with are males that are male drill instructors who are in the Marine Corps that train male recruits to become Marines, and because of their job, they're similar to shift workers. They're up working 12 plus hours a day and getting minimal amount of sleep. When you're looking at defining exactly what high blood pressure means, if you look at this chart, high blood pressure is anything systolic over 130 and anything greater than 80 for diastolic. Obviously, there's issues before that, and then obviously you're talking about a crisis if you look at the bottom of the chart with systolic over 180 or diastolic over 120. So the methods for this study include that subjects were recruited from a poster in the Military Fitness Center aboard the Marine Corps base, San Diego. It's considered convenient sampling. 130 subjects were recruited. 100 of them met the inclusion criteria, meaning they had no pre-existing health condition and they fell within the age range. And 49 met the criteria for sleep, meaning they slept 5 hours or less. And 51 became the control group. They still met the health and age inclusion criteria, but they got 6 hours or more of sleep a night. So they were all given a health and sleep questionnaire. Figure out what their health history is. Have they identified any health conditions such as sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, any pre-existing condition that could have an overall effect on their blood pressure. And then also the questionnaire asked about how much sleep they got per night. So inclusion criteria includes males. They were between the ages of 18 and 45, no pre-existing health condition. They are taking no medication that has effects on blood pressure, no physical activity within 3 hours of measurement, because obviously if you're bringing up activity, your blood pressure is going to come up. 6 hours or less of sleep per night was what we're looking for. 5 hours of sleep per night was considered in the inclusion criteria. And then exclusion criteria, if you're a female, if you're older than 45, younger than 18, if you had a pre-existing health condition, if you were physically active less than 3 hours prior to measurement of blood pressure, if you take meds that affect blood pressure, if you slept more than 6 hours a night, or if you use tobacco or nicotine, because tobacco and nicotine are going to bring up your blood pressure. So a blood pressure assessment was given to these participants. It was measured 3 times at 5 minutes apart using a blood pressure cuff, an automatic one. Pearson's correlation was used to calculate the statistics. It's calculating the association between the average of sleep per night and blood pressure. The Pearson statistic analysis will indicate if the value is greater than 0, you have a positive correlation. If the value is less than 0, a negative correlation. And if the value is equal to 0, no correlation between blood pressure and sleep. So the results suggest that 33% of the subjects that slept 5 hours or less had high blood pressure. No significant data suggests that anyone that slept 6 hours or more showed a prevalence of high blood pressure. Pearson's correlation showed a negative correlation, so as sleep increases, blood pressure decreases. And then as you can see of the percentage here in this chart, in the orange here, that's people that slept 6 hours or more, and the gray was 5 hours or less. And as you see here in the orange, as the percentages of 6 hours or less with normal blood pressure is much higher than with 5 hours or less. And if you look to the far right, individuals that had high blood pressure, majority of them are in the gray with 5 hours or less. So some limitations to the study. An automatic blood pressure cuff was administered. It wasn't a nurse taking it, it wasn't a doctor taking it, so there could obviously been some error in taking the blood pressure itself. 5 minutes may not have been long enough between measurements. Someone could have been nervous while taking blood pressure, which would affect the results. Some people are more physically fit than others, so they're going to automatically have a healthier blood pressure the fitter you are. People self-reported their sleep, so it could have been over or underestimated. It could have had error, could be not consistent. Also, dehydration could have been a factor. Maybe they didn't keep track of their hydration throughout the day. And so we can't dictate whether everybody was at the same hydration level. Also, elevated blood pressure could be from an undiagnosed health condition they may have that they don't realize. So the conclusion to the study, the less sleep an individual gets, the higher the chance for developing high blood pressure. Further investigation is needed to conduct long-term studies on the effects of sleep deprivation on blood pressure over time. And as you can take a look here, the references they use from the CDC, also the American Heart Association on the definition of high blood pressure, and then the website from Experimental Biology website is down here at the bottom. Thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to present to you here at the Environmental Biology Conference.